Morning, everyone. This is Nate G. It is February 1st, and we had the FOMC yesterday, and things have been all over the place. We were running up into the FOMC yesterday, um, and then we were kind of all over the place. Well, I guess that's not true. I guess we kind of had a little bit of a gap down the day before, and then the FOMC started, and we were down a little bit, and then Powell started talking, and then we were up, and then we sold off, and then Powell was done talking, and we kind of just went sideways. And then this morning we got a slight gap up, and we've been pretty volatile since then, a little up, a little down. But there were some fun trades to be had in here where Powell was talking, and we were running up real hard and then running down real hard, and it kind of broke a number of charts. But this morning we've come in, and most of those charts are doing pretty well, surprisingly. I'm playing this SMCI here. I missed the run up this morning on the break of the high, but I played it off of VWAP for a little bit of a move, and I'm just now playing it again here to see if we can't come up and break this high up here. That's just some day trade business, not necessarily long term trades. But I am in ANF. This is one we were watching that kind of got away from us last week, or earlier this week, I guess. Really didn't get a good entry. And then yesterday came down in some of that market weakness into our support level and picked some of that up. So I was pretty happy with that. I'm now playing that more on an hourly chart than a 30-minute chart as this thing starts to develop. So we can actually move our risk reward box out here to where we're actually going to take the trade. And that then becomes nearly a 25 to 1 trade um, if it continues to work out from here. So that's a good one. In AAP, I've been in this one for a number of days. That one's still working its way up. I'm looking for a break of the high here. I'm in CAT. I was playing this on the 30-minute down here. This is a put credit spread, so I'm just letting this one expire ideally at 100% unless it rolls over. I'm in AXSM on this 30-minute chart, and I've been kind of day trading a little bit with some short dated options on this ASML. I originally liked it here on this 30-minute chart, and it's really come up and respected. If you can see here, let's go to the 10-minute. It's really come up and respected this resistance level up here at 883.15. Every time it's run up. I'm playing way out of the money options short dated, so that's been kind of fun. Lost a little on that yesterday's drop, but then made a little on today's gap up, and so I'm kind of playing that similar to this SMCI, that I'm just sort of day trading within those moves because it's a pretty expensive stock overall. So that's wasn't ANF a dance band from the 90s? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was. Um, so that's kind of the positions I'm in. Things are okay. Most of those things that I was playing are not overly market sensitive. It's not Apple, it's not AMD, it's not Netflix. That Netflix chart is a beauty, right? Nate's been talking about this one in the room quite a bit. This thing's just gorgeous, and it's sitting at just almost a great entry in this area here. Maybe we'll mark that chart up here in a few minutes. It's got some very clear risk reward levels, There's your value area low, as you can see here, right? We've got that ledge right there on the volume profile. And so, you know, if it gets through there, it's probably not seeing much support down into there. We're kind of at a point of control level at the moment here. Let's see. We've at least come down into a point of control level. Well, it's just a VP level at this point. Point of control's up here a little bit higher. But if you were playing this, you know, you could put in your risk reward. If you're going to cut it at a break below 562.28, play it for a run, break of the high, you know, that's a, you know, 5-to-1, a little more than a 5-to-1 risk reward, right? Somewhere around in there, depending on where you take it. That's potentially a good, as I play with that, that starts to become a point of control, that red line I created. But it kind of depends on how much I'm looking at. That's kind of interesting. So I like Netflix a lot. I'll be watching that as we're talking. And then I really don't want to put on more trades than that. I don't need more than that. Especially because most of those are going to, most of them are put credit spreads expiring tomorrow. So, and they're in pretty good shape. So I'm pretty happy with those. They're not going to run away and rip and make me 1,000%, but that's okay. Sharky, what was the ANF band? What was the name of the band? I mean, was that the name of the band, or was that an abbreviation? So on a put credit spread, Lucky, I am like, for instance, let me look at my ANF. Let's see what I did on ANF. So on ANF, my put credit spreads are I sold the 103s puts, right? So I sold 103 puts and I bought the 102s behind it for protection. And so I can only... So, and I did it as a credit spread, so I get the money by selling the option. And let me see what I got for it. I got, per contract, I got $149 in credit per contract. Now, that means I can only make that 149, right? So here's the 103, right? That's the put that I sold. I bought the 102-ish, somewhere right here, 102 behind it for protection, so that if it goes against me, I can only lose, you know, X amount of dollars, which is depending on where I bought it, is probably around 150. It was probably a 1-to-1 per contract. But all it has to do is, if this is my 103 line, right? This could expire tomorrow right where it's at, which is only 103.78, and I'd make the max 100%. As long as the option expires above the 103 line, theta's working in my favor, and it can just go sideways and I still win. It can go up and I still win, right? The only thing it can't do is go down. And if it goes down, I close it out. So, but I'm also capped on the amount I can make. I can only make the 149 per contract that I sold, right? So, you know, you're somewhat capped, but you're also capped on the downside too. So those are a more conservative way to play some of these TPS setups. You're not going to make your 1,000%ers, but you're also not going to lose a full 100% on the option trade. like assuming, let's say you buy, $1,000 worth of option contracts because that's your position size. And if it goes to zero, you lose that entire $1,000, right? So that's not going to happen. You should stop out, but a lot of times we don't do that. And so I'm doing a little bit of an experiment. In another account, I'm playing only credit spreads on these TPS plays. So and just kind of seeing what that win rate looks like. Looking more at win rate than I am, prop P&L. No, not Chris. No, there's not a particular theta or delta. So, for instance, like look at this A&F chart, right? So we're getting into the credit spread weeds here a little bit, but this 101.75, right, is the stop out area for this trade for me, right? That's my value area low. Anything below that is a stop for me. So ideally, if I can, these options don't exist, but I'm looking to sell, a 101.75. That's not an option strike that you can purchase or sell, but this is kind of the idea. I'm looking to sell near my support area, right, and my stop out area, and then I'm looking to buy another one as protection below it, right? So no matter where this is in its pattern, it's above these levels. Now, the difference is if that's why you can see I did the 103 102s, right? It's not below that level, but I'm assuming that we're gonna move up here from when I bought them. Now, when you're buying a credit spread, and you'll see this if you price them, if I buy, let's say my price is up here, it's trading up here, right? And I want to buy let's imagine there's a 101.75, and or I'm buying the 102s and the 100s. If price is way up here, I'm probably getting a credit of 40 cents or $40 per contract, and I'm risking, I don't even know, I'm not looking at it directly, but I could be risking $200 per contract because the price is already so far away, right? So my max win would be if I was buying the 101s and the 100s, let's say, and price is way up here, I'm only going to make $40 if that expires above this area per contract, and I'm risking 200. Now that's okay if you understand that risk and you feel like this is going to stay above these levels. But where this becomes more of a one-to-one risk reward is when price comes down in between your two strikes. So if price is down in here, now you're basically risking, or your win rate is 150 to 150, right? Roughly. So the best time to buy these from a risk reward perspective is when they're down near your support levels. And bouncing, right? Because you get a better risk reward. Now you can take them off at any time and manage your own risk and manage your own reward, but that's sort of the best time. And you even get a better one if prices, like let's say price is down here and I bought the 106 and the 105 and price is down here, then you're going to get a $300 to maybe $100 per contract, the win to loss, but that means that the name has to move up past your upper strike here if you're selling puts, right? So that's a pretty large move by expiration. So it kind of changes it changes your risk reward and it changes what needs to happen. Does that kind of make sense? And so you're focused on, if I'm selling a credit spread, normally, let's say we're playing a 78 minute, right? And I'm selling a credit spread, or I'm buying a call, I'm going to want to buy 2 weeks out, right? Most likely 2, maybe 3 weeks out, so that the call has time. Whoops. So the call has time to move up. Well, if I'm playing a 78-minute chart, I can buy, or I can sell a credit spread down here when it comes into support for this Friday, where let's say it's a 3 DTE. And then the next time it comes into the support level, I can sell another credit spread out. Let's say this is a day or two later. Now it's a 6 DTE for next week, right? And then if it comes down again the following week, I could sell, you can just keep until you're no longer bouncing off of this support level. You can sell one for this week. You can sell one for next week. And that's when they expire. Now, if you sell one for this week or next week, and then it makes a move like this, right? You can take it off before expiration for profit. So if it moves in the direction you want it to, that your P&L on that trade is going to go up, and you can sell it off for 60-70% and mitigate that risk. You don't have to let it expire on its expiration date. You can sell it for profit prior to that. So if it makes the move you want it to, where you would have bought calls, you can just sell it and you don't have to wait for it to expire. Does that make sense? I know I kind of got into the weeds on that. I'm not, Joey. I'm just kind of playing it as an experiment. Hold on a sec. I think I might need to take some profit here. Come on, SMCI, let's break. Need to manage a trade here. Hold on. The problem is I'm only playing with small amounts because I knew I was going to be on the mic. This is a nice little ascending, right? Looking for that thing to break. Okay, I'm just going to keep an eye on it for now. For me on this one, right? I'm playing for the break of the high here, right? So and you see this sort of ascending triangle that's forming, this starts to break down, right? If we get outside of that triangle to the downside, I'm looking for what I'm expecting is probably going to happen on this is another touch here, the 21 or 34, kind of the bottom end of this, and then see if we can't get a move up. Obviously, the market has to cooperate. Ed, what indicators are you talking about on my charts right now? The indicators I'm using for this? Jill, you do have to kind of be worried about being assigned on the options that you sell. But if you are, you can just call your broker and have them exercise the other side. A lot of times, if it's looking really good, I'll just take. I'm not going to let something that's gone against me. The only time I'm going to be assigned. Hold on a minute. The only time I'm going to be assigned is if we're talking about this A&F chart and I'm here in the 103s, 102s, price has to be below 102 and getting close to the expiration date to be assigned. So like this expires tomorrow. I can't get assigned right now. If this drops, then there's a possibility of getting assigned, right? But as long as it's in the money, so to speak, then you have no worry of being assigned. I was looking at ULTA lately. ULTA yesterday. God, I was reading that and speaking at the same time, and my brain doesn't do that. Okay, so here, this is SMCI. We're getting that, trend line touch that I just talked about. This is a 1 minute chart. If it breaks down, I'll take it off for profit because I got it down in here. First one. First one I got here off of VWAP for a little bit of that move. I wish I would have caught the whole thing. And then here I picked it up again. And I'm hoping to see it tighten up and go bunk. That's what I'm hoping for. Investing tree, I like on this trade here. When I set up the box, I don't. If I have to step away from the computer for an extended period of time, and it's trading in this red area, or there's maybe going to be a volatility event, I'll set a stop. But most of the time, I will honor these just by doing it manually, right? But you can set OCO orders and trigger orders. When stock hits this, sell that. When stock hits this, sell that. The only thing that I've found by putting in hard stops and OCO orders is market makers. If this is a very key support level here, right? Market makers will push it through and then back up. That's where we get the breakdown and reclaim that you hear us all talk about. And they'll run stops. And so if you have, let's say this is 562.23 and you have it set at 562.20, look, that wasn't necessarily a support level at this point, but you'll get that little run. It'll run your stop and then it'll just immediately reclaim and go. So usually if I'm setting a stop, I'm setting it, outside of the range and hoping that, we don't go into that, and it protects me a little bit, but then it kind of messes my 5-to-1 risk reward a little bit, because I had to put in a hard stop and I didn't want to get wicked out. So I set it a little bit further. So then it becomes more like, a 4-to-1, right? I would never set a stop down here where then it becomes, an inverse relation. But a lot of times if I'm setting a hard stop, I won't put it right here. So you can do that. You can do that either way. Now, if you're the kind of person that watches the stock go below your level and you don't stop out, and then you watch it come back and you're like, yeah, it's going to go. And then it does this and you still haven't stopped out. And now you're looking at, like an 80 to 100% loss because you don't have the discipline to stop out when it breaks or stop out when you get this reject on the retest. Then yeah, maybe hard stops are important for you until you learn how to do that on your own. It's easier to just cut it. In my opinion, it's easier to say, and listen, that's one of my big problems is letting trades go too far away from me. When I make a mistake, it's usually that, and I kick myself in the throat because I'm super flexible for one, because that was always my problem in the original days. because I didn't have my own plan. I just did somebody else's plan, AKA the guru. And then I just said, okay, they're in this, I'm in this. And then I didn't know where the stop was. I didn't know where the profit target was. And I was just sitting here waiting for the guru to tell me when to get in and when to get out. And if I missed it or whatever, and the trade just goes like this, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll add here. And it starts to bounce. I'm like, yes, I'm going to trade out of this one. And then it's like, no. And now I'm double sized. And now I'm doing this. And then I'm like, well, how did I lose 80% on that trade? Well, because I didn't have a plan. Not only did I not, and you can have the best plan and not follow it, and you're still a tool. I was going to say something else, but, right? You're still just kicking yourself in the throat. We all do it. And so, when I make a mistake, that is generally the mistake I will make, even now, and not just being cold-blooded and cutting it. It's not working, cut it. Not working, cut it. Who cares? Cut it. Small loss. It's gonna go without me, fine, but it's hard. This is a mistake I still make from time to time. And then you've got gains for 3 weeks that are awesome, and you give them back in 2 days. And you're like, I'm a jackass. Excuse my language. We've all done it though. So I'm not talking to myself. I know I'm talking to everybody. Every trader. Yeah. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? All right. Well, we got a little bit of a poke. Really, it's got to get above this level. And I apologize to Mike, who I said I would show Thinkorswim. I will before I get off. I promise. We just kind of went down this rabbit hole. It's not a rabbit hole. It's important stuff. And if I can just pat myself on the back, I remembered to record. Thank you very much. Oh boy. SPX is screaming hard. Did some news hit while I was flapping my gums? That's bananas. If it keeps going, I'm watching 489. Sorry, 4893.50 area. So let's put it on the chart here. 4893.50 area. If it gets there for a reversal, we'll look for a sniper setup if it gets up there. It might not get up there. All right, I think I'm going to take off my SMCI trade right there. That was nice. I don't know what that was for in total. Let's see here. 32%. That's not bad. I'll take it. It's better than a kick in the throat, right? Nate, just get in here and day trade SMCI with us. I got two day trades on it so far. Got that little break. I think it's gonna keep going, but 32% in a matter of a few minutes. Small size. I'll take it. ANF is moving. Cat's doing just fine. AXSM is popping up. Ooh, we might get another break of the day high on ASML. I was hoping for that one. Playing way out of the money options, but it's an $870 stock, so it's moving. Come on, I just need a push. This is all-time highs up here. I think it wants all-time highs. Let's make it green. Let's make it green. And then let's do, for old time's sake, this one is for Mr. Bear. Let's do, let's just let it know where it needs to go. Let's see, it probably needs 2, don't you think? It's just a reminder of where it needs to be. Sometimes you have to remind them where they need to go. This was an indicator I know Nate was working on at one point. The arrow indicator. I think SMCI has some more. So here's what I'm watching for on SMCI. This is a 1-minute chart, right? We got this push up, right? We got this push up. You can see we got on decent volume here. Well, I think that's on the original break, right? 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe not. So it's a side monitor. Yeah, those line up. So that was a good volume break. Now we're finding some fair value, and what I'm looking for is a retest of that break area and then a go. So I would try it again, kind of in between these two lines, if it's going to get there. I don't know that it's going to get there, but that's what I'm watching for. Are the ticks at like 900,000 right now? Yeah. I mean, SPX is pushing. I bet it's kind of dangerous when the market's like this, but I bet we could find a sniper trade. On the 3-minute, here's that chart here. It's probably going to happen because it's so parabolic. It's probably going to happen more on a 2-minute. But definitely worth watching. All right, somebody keep an eye on that, and I'll come back. We'll come back to it. Karine, the profit loss indicator is the kind of the fourth one down here. If I hit the little arrow, it's called long position. And if you click it, you just put it on your chart, and then you move these bars to your entry and your stop and your profit target, and it'll tell you your risk reward right here. It's pretty easy. And then you just leave it on your chart as the trade unfolds, and you know where to stop out and you know where to take profit. Both Skater 6. I use both the chart. So in this chart, for instance, ANF, my target number 1 is the new high right here. And then my target number 2 is the 1272 extension based on fib. If the chart didn't look like that straight up, right? If it didn't look like that, I would use VP levels as my target levels. But it looks like that, so I'm using fib extensions. I'm mostly using volume profile levels for my support and resistance levels generally. SMCI heading down. Yep, look at that. Let's see if it holds. How are our ticks doing? Our ticks are rolling a little bit. That's the level. Might take a shot here. Let's see. Should we go super lotto? All right, I'm going to try the 580s. Really tight stop. Sorry, I'll go back to questions here in a second. Whoa, Jack, that is ballsy to say the least. That is ballsy to say the least. Joe, I am trying a super lotto on SMCI. I did the 580s for this week off of this retest. Super lotto to me just means way out of the money. You know, you're not doing it at the money. You're really taking it kind of means it needs to happen. It needs to go right now, especially on a Thursday. I'll answer some more of these questions here in a second. I'm sort of live trading this at the moment, and I need to kind of pay some hyper attention to what I'm doing, if you don't mind. And then I'll answer some questions. All right, back up to this high here. I'd like to see it get back above that. You know, you can see all these wicks here. A lot of sellers into those areas. A little bit of a battle going on there. Steve C, thanks for the call out on that SMCI heading down into that zone. I appreciate it. I mean, that chart's bananas. That chart is absolutely bananas. Right? It's still holding this trend line, at least for now. You're getting a sniper on the SPX. All right, don't tempt me. Yeah, all the triggers aren't. Oh, yeah, they are. On the 2 minute. Yeah, did you hit that? Skater 6? The firing on the 3 yet? Well, we got the trigger on the 3. See how quick that turnaround was? Here it is. See how quick that turnaround was? This is the 1 minute, but we were watching the 2 minute. You got this wick in the trigger, but you didn't get the color change until the next candle, and it was almost a little bit too far away to make that. Sorry, am I all over the place, guys? Do you want me to like just stick with one thing? I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. Is this helpful? Is it confusing? Am I an idiot? Feedback. Come on, watch the arrows. Let's go. Okay. There's just a lot going on at the moment. Stick with SMCI. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So up on this other screen here, I have, so I can kind of do this. This is the SPX. It's pulling back just a hair. We got a little bit of a trigger, but I'm just waiting to see what happens here. If the overall market starts to turn, I will probably take my SMCI off. Come on. Give me a little love. Let's get some ticks going. Here, I'll stack all these guys up. Let's get some ticks going. Normally I wouldn't have this many charts stacked up on one screen. But this kind of shows you in a stacked form. Oh crap. Where is it? It's gone now. There it is. Kind of shows you in a stacked form how to watch multiple things at the same time and how they interact with each other. Your ADD is allowing you to follow right along. I love that. Yeah, a little ADD in trading doesn't hurt. I don't like the way this is shaping up. Sorry, just concentrating. I don't love where it's at right now. I've got my finger on the sell button. But this is the level, this is the level. I'm still profitable, barely, because the entry was so great. But it came down in and tested that. I like that candle. I like this candle a lot. Because it wicked down and then immediately came back up. I don't like this candle that's forming at the moment. Let's see what happens. See, watch the market makers here. Now, you see how they wicked through that bottom line. See how this candle closes. Ticks are kind of hovering in no man's land. And this is where patience plays in. Now, this could just be a retest of the trend line here. All right, we held support, but I'm not convinced it's got strength yet, because we moved back into this trend line here, and it needs to, for me, it needs to kind of break up, you know, do an essentially an inside candle break, or if it starts to kind of hold here and do this, then I'm probably out. Just kind of watching it here. Yeah, this is being recorded. This part's going to be super boring if you watch the recording back. It's probably super boring right now. But most of the time we're in here and we're just kind of talking about things that we have done or are planning to do. It's not often that we get a good live, you know, day trade on a 1 minute chart, like while on the mic. Yeah. I'm not in love with this at the moment. So do you see what I'm seeing is we broke the trend line, which is okay. It's kind of an arbitrary trend line in this 1 minute. We held support of that breakout level, which is fine, previous resistance, right? And then, you know, we got a good green candle, two good green candles kind of loosely back up into that trend line. And now we're testing again, right? So it's got to kind of go, or I'm just going to take it off for, I don't know, what do I have, 10, 8%, something like that. It's still profit, but I'd like to see it go. This is where the patience plays in. Ticks aren't doing anything. Brock, that's a good question. One of the videos you watched last night was on time frames. What's the significance of 78, 130, 195? They are time frames that create even candles per day. right? So the trading day is 6.5 hours. So like an hourly chart, um, that last half hour is split between the next day, the first day and the next day, right? So if you do a 65-minute chart, then you get 5 even candles, right? A 78-minute chart is 4 even candles. Am I saying that right? I think so. A 130 is 3 even candles. A 195 is 2 even candles, and obviously a daily is 1 candle. So it just doesn't give you those overlaps that your standard. I mean, 30 minutes is fine. So I use 30-minute, 65, 78, 130, 195. I don't know if this thing's going to give us what we want at the moment. Just kind of going sideways. I need the ticks to do something here. You want to move my trend line lower, Kareen? How about I just remove it? See, that's not. I mean, does that make you happier? And we'll just call this a little breakdown. Does that satisfy your OCD? Nate, let me know if you want me to jump off and you want to jump back on the mic. I'm just, as you can see, I'm just letting trades unfold. So I'm not doing anything too interesting. Here we go, getting a little push. In answer to when I first came on, I want to make sure he's still here. Who was it that was asking me about toss? That asked right as I got on the mic, which is awesome. Are you still in here? Are you still listening to me babble away? Is that Mark 52? So yes, here we go. just as I get ready to talk to you about it, we get a push. That's hilarious. Boom. Look at that. All right. I am prepping here for an exit. What's happening? What's happening? Push, 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 push. Push, 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 push. There we go. Look at this thing go. All right. I should rub my hands like D-Man does right at the mic. And because I'm only... All right, I'll take that off for 35%. Nice trade there. So that's where the patience comes in, right? We picked one up. We picked one up down here. We weren't sure what the market was going to start to do. Swapped it out here. Picked up another one here. Swapped it out on this push. Picked up another one here. Swapped it out on that push, right? So that's all for 30 to 40%, right? Each. on these super lottos. And so that's, that's how you can, if you know your VP levels and you can see your chart setups. Ooh, took that off right at the right time. Here's another breakout level that you could, in theory. I'm done. I'm done just because I feel like I've overstayed my welcome with SMCI. If I had a trailer on, it'd be great. But right, we got this breakout. We bought on the retest. We watched it retest again, but it never really broke. And then it went. We took this off. This is a new breakout level. You could wait for a more more of a retest to develop. But I feel like I've overstayed my welcome here. So I am now walking away from SMCI. And I'll just watch it. Maybe something bigger sets up over the longer haul. But that's enough for me. What I don't want to do is really get into the weeds with trying to trade this thing 6 more times and then get caught in just and be like, well, gave all those profits away. I'm an idiot. Because I've done that before too. For the SMCI trade, I did the 580s. I don't know what the delta is on that. Those are way out of the money. On the account that I was using for that, I don't have deltas up on my option string. I'm guessing that they're probably like 20 delta, 25 delta. It just a guess. Maybe less. Thanks, Nate. It is kind of cool when that happens live. That doesn't happen very often where you're 1 minute chart, trading and something's giving you the right setup to talk about what you're seeing. So that I hope that was helpful to everyone. I always find those pretty cool when they happen. Look at this thing push. Wish I was playing with larger size and could leave something on. This thing just wants to get rolling. Look at that chart. Good night. Okay, Mark, I'm here for you. EMA guy is still here. Let me do 2 things for you. Are you kind of new to TOS? I got your back right now. Yeah, I can look at Netflix after I answer Mark's very, 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 very patient question. And I appreciate it. Let's see. I have this video that will tell you how to set up TPS charts right here. TPS charts in TOS. It's longer and it'll give you exactly what you're looking for. Okay. However, what I'll show you is when we do, let me detach this. Here is Thinkorswim. The darker white line here. This is a nice chart in NEW. NUE. Nate, check out NUE right now. Good night. Look at this 30-minute chart right here. This. Oh, I didn't give me the right tool. Darn it. Look at that thing. Yes, please. So I'll come back. I digress. If you click on the gear icon here, nope, I lied. Delete that from your brain. Click on studies and go to edit studies. And then these are moving average exponential. So if you come over here to the left, and you go moving average. It should search for, why is nothing changing? Moving average. Let's try move av. Okay. So then you want moving average exponential. So you would click on that and you would add it to your chart. And then once it's added and you see it in here, you'd hit the gear icon and make sure that the length is 21, and you do it, and you can change the color. You can also make, your 8 and your 34. That's how you add them. But if you watch those videos, it'll take you from scratch on how to build a Thinkorswim chart setup for TPS. Did that help, Mark? Somewhat. Yeah, this just happened to be up on my screen in UE. Yes, all of this is in the video link I provided. In fact, it's about a 45-minute video, and it takes you through setting up these charts that you see here on my screen from scratch. From just opening up TOS and creating the windows. They should work on an iPad Pro if you've set them up already on a desktop. I haven't used it for an iPad Pro, but if I was using iPad Pro for my charts, I would be using TradingView. It translates quite well between desktop and mobile. Quite well. Ooh, I like this. Check this out. Right, we talk about when we're in a trend and a sniper setup, right? We're in a trend. We got to pull back. A lot of times we try to trade this one, but look at this, right? We're coming back down into the mean. We're getting yellow candle change. I wonder if we get a little arrow right there, and boom, we're out of here. I'm gonna tone it down for the day though, because I've done well today, and I just am not in the mood to give it back. So you got to know when to tone it down, and that for me is now. Can I share my Thinkorswim setup? Yeah, I have one that is shareable, that doesn't have any doesn't have any paid indicators on it. So let me share that. Hold on a minute. Here is my NAG TOS setup. Fib extensions chart in TradingView? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty easy. It's this first one here. It's actually called Fib retracement. Right? I don't like the way they name these. I wish you could rename this, because I think I think of, I'll show you the difference here. So go to Fib retracement and then just click top to bottom, right, of the move. And then I have, as you can see, I have all these things turned off. So I have all these middle ones turned off. I have 0, I have 1, and then I have a 1272 extension and a 1618 extension. And those are the only things I have turned on, because that's the only thing I'm really all that worried about. So that's how I do it. And then the one that's called, so I look at this as a fib extension because I'm looking at extensions away from a move, right? But if you go to the fib, trend-based fib extension, that is when you're doing symmetry, right? So that to here to there gives me a symmetry line. So I almost wish the names were reversed, because that's how my brain wants to compute them. Yeah, TradingView is much easier than TOS, in my opinion. Same. Berserk, we do the same thing. All right, y'all, I've been on for quite some time. I'm going to jump off if there are no additional questions for me. I'll post this live trading up to YouTube, and I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I'll probably be around in chat because I'm a freaking addict. Oh, you need Netflix? Yeah, you got it. But I am, unless something amazing sets up, I'm done for the day. Oh, thanks, Lauren. Appreciate it. So this is Netflix. Netflix on this 30-minute chart looks. It's a very technical term, but it's called redonkulous. It's a little bit bigger than ridiculous. It looks redonkulous in a good way. And the way we set that up with our lines, right, is we have our support line down here. I took my glasses off. That was stupid. At 162.05, roughly 162. That's our support level. Am I going to get stuck picking up Netflix today? Who reports tonight? I mean, we have, what do we have? Amazon. I should have looked that up before I got on so I could talk intelligently about it. I like talking unintelligently about things. But anyway, the play here would be wherever you're picking it up for me, right? I'm looking for a good entry somewhere around in here where I had this red line. It's even lower now, right? So if we took a trade, I say we meaning me and the mouse in my pocket, and I'm looking for a move back into the most recent high, that turns into 8.5 to 1 risk reward trade if you honor this as your stop. And so if you have to let it drift to make sure that it's a stoppable moment, you're probably looking at a 7 to 1, 8.5 to 1. Still pretty good. But Amazon, Apple, and Meta are reporting tonight. Yeah, I'm not picking up Netflix until tomorrow. But I've marked up my chart, right? And I will put an alert right down here so that it beeps me on my pager if it comes down into a level that makes sense to pick it up. I'd love to pick it up off of 562. Quentin, nice job, man. 3 trades, all positive. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it looked like yesterday, all hell was going to break loose. All trades were going to suck. All of our accounts were going to go bust. But things have come back. Not every trade, but, come on, ASML, give me some love. You want all-time highs and you want it today. I don't think it's going to get there today, but those arrows are going to help. I'm going to leave that up. I'm going to put Nate's charts back up. Hope you all have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you later.